There is one thing that I've been doing a lot over this time off from the channel. Something that I've maybe been doing a little bit too much, alright? It's a game that I've been playing, and it's been kind of a slippery slope. And when I'm talking about a game, I don't really mean any normal kind of game. I'm talking about something very mystical, something ancient, and something felt throughout the stratosphere of the planet from time and time ago. Something more powerful that even I cannot really seem to harness or necessarily learn to actually do as good as I'd like to do. And what that has been is I have been playing Yu-Gi-Oh!
I have just one thing to say to you, Paradox. It's time to duel!
Yes, that game that everybody seemed to know about from when they were a kid that has lived all this way up into 2023 with so many different archetypes, so many different cards with novels set on their text boxes that overall it is an extremely overwhelming game to any kind of newcomer. And where this all started was innocently just about a few months, or at least during the winter time, I realized that I had an old stack of cards sitting on my shelf. Me and my buddies began to play games once in a while, and gradually we began to get more and more into this, alright? Just kind of innocently playing every just now and again. But where this was all kicked off is about a couple weeks after I began to take my time off from the channel, is I managed to trade a PS2 in about 10 to 12 different games, something very valuable to me and something that I've been collecting since probably about 6 years ago. Every time I go to Goodwill and I see a PS2 game or any kind of old retro game for like $2, I pick it up, and I've managed to kind of accrue a pretty decent collection. And as I got more and more into this card game, I became aware that my cousin and his wife actually had a bunch of these binders just kind of sitting around in a garage, and I told them, what the hell, you guys love video games and I'm starting to kind of play this game a lot, I'd like to check out that binder and potentially do an old school trade. And a trade I did, and something that would set off a slew of events that would take up entirely too much of my time, too much of my brain space, but overall has caused me so much joy and so much pleasure just going through every single one of these cards, and you have absolutely no idea. Now, these are the original binders. I have since gone through this entire thing and organized every single card. This is mostly just spells and traps and assortment of cards that kind of have card effects and do things against monsters of the sort. Things like Mirror Force, the one that everybody has heard of. Things like Dark Hole, and basically any kind of spell or trap card that you could possibly manage. And since I've gotten these cards, I have spent many hours just trying to organize them into their very different archetypes. First, I started with their different kind of attributes: Warrior, Fiend, Spellcaster, Fairy, Dragon, Machine, Cyburst, so many different cards, and each one doing a different thing. And I have finally finished. At the end of this kind of little story, I'll take you over and kind of show you what I've done, show you what has stripped my mind of all thought, of all reason really. But since I've gotten these cards, I've been able to manage to build a few different decks. I've been playing with a Toon deck. I have recently just kind of let my girlfriend, she's been playing with the Toon deck, she loves the thing. I've built a Red Eyes Black Dragon deck. I tried to build a Spellcaster deck, but after seeing my buddy's Spellcaster deck, I completely tore it apart, and I said, I do not know what the fuck I'm doing here. And then I started to kind of get into structure decks, Albaz, Hero Strike, Beware the Trap Tricks, all these different kinds of things that kind of ensue, let you kind of learn how the game is played, and eventually I would come to bring up my main deck, my Albaz deck, my branded fusion deck. Something to me I thought was incredibly powerful. I was playing against the Toon deck, I was playing against my friends' homebrewed decks at home, new players, alright, we are not veterans. And finally, I was beginning to feel pretty good about this deck. And what I decided to end up doing is I got more and more excited, and over the coming weeks I kind of decided that I'd really like to go to like a locals Yu-Gi-Oh match to kind of just go hang out with some people, play some card games and such, as it's something that I've never really gotten to do in my life, is just go to a random place, go meet a bunch of random people all alone by myself. And I finally did it, and it was a really nice experience. When I actually got to the store, I got there a couple hours early, I got myself a little bag, I got myself a little dice box, some snacks and things, and I got ready. I started flipping through cards, and as soon as I got to this building, I signed up for the event. There was a gentleman sitting behind me at a table who was also kind of playing the same deck that I had, only with cards that were in the $200–300 range for a certain few monsters, and how you could spend that much on a certain, just one Yu-Gi-Oh card. I have no idea, but I commend you, sir. And I just want to thank this guy in particular for being so nice. He actually brought me out of the table. He showed me how to do a couple different plays with this deck that I have been using. And I'm sorry if this video is annoying for any of you people who are maybe new to this channel, who actually do play Yu-Gi-Oh a lot, and the only reason is because the title will have Yu-Gi-Oh in it. Somehow you've made your way here. But it was a great time. Just kind of sitting with a random person and just nerding the fuck out about this little card game. He ended up giving me some free cards. He ended up selling me one card for like 10 bucks and then threw in some other ones. I don't know if it was worth it. I didn't check the prices, but it felt worth it. And he was a very nice man. And I was getting more and more excited about this event, alright? I went over to the shelves. I started looking through all these different cards. I met some more people who wanted to do some test plays with me, as I was sure to make sure that everybody knew how new I was and how much they would probably end up blasting my ass into the Shadow Realm. And once again, it was just a great time, meeting all these different people. I met a man named Mitchell who had a Sword Soul deck, and he absolutely obliterated me, but kind of let me know the things that I was doing wrong, things to kind of watch out. And then I met some other people. I met a gentleman named Red. He told me about his like Taekwondo and karate and things like that. And he was another person that was just a very pleasant person to meet. He actually started sending me some YouTube videos about maybe different cards and things like that to be on the lookout of. And I showed him this YouTube channel. And supposedly he watched it, so that was pretty cool. So overall, going to the locals event was very cool. I just like meeting the new people and kind of talking to them and such. It was just like the ultimate place to go and nerd out. It was like me going to a comic shop and meeting some people who kind of read all the same things, or just meeting a new friend in a friend group that also has some of the same interests. It was just very easy to kind of jive with people. I'm usually a very shy person when it comes to people that I don't know and just kind of random situations and whatnot. And it was just a very welcoming environment. Until finally the clock is ticking. It's almost time to actually start the actual locals event, and I'm getting more and more nervous as I'm test playing with some of these different people. I'm watching these people kind of test play against each other, and they're just throwing out summons out the ass, alright? They're making these giant card combos and all these different things, and on top of that, I've just been playing with buddies, and I haven't been calling draw phase, standby phase, main phase, battle phase, main phase 2, end phase, skip turn, whatever you want to call it, alright? I've not been like traditionally playing this game necessarily in the right way that you would at a locals event, so I just started getting extremely nervous about what cards I could play, what things I could do in what order. And on top of that, I'm new, so I'm having to like read my deck that I've played a couple times, and I kind of understand the gimmick, but I also didn't want to take up too much time, as each match is timed. You get about 45 minutes to play 3 rounds, see who wins. But finally, the time is here. And I sit down with my first opponent, a very nice man. I forget your name, and I'm very sorry if you end up watching this, which I highly doubt you will, because I only told so many people that I run a small YouTube channel. Could you believe that? And I'm going. I'm pulling cards, the match has started, I begin fusioning. I start getting negated. My cards are disappearing, and suddenly it is this gentleman's turn, and he's starting to pull all these very cute animal cards out, all these different fluffles. I forget what they're called, and I'm also very sorry for any new user. I'm extremely new to Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm just learning all the archetypes. And essentially, everybody, I got destroyed throughout this whole tournament. I did 3 rounds, I won 1 game, and that's because my first opponent had to leave, and he decided that he was going to give me the win. And that was awesome, alright? But overall, going to this little local event was extremely nerve-wracking, and it really showed me just how deep of a game Yu-Gi-Oh! Gets to be when you get down to it, when you get to the group of people who actually know how to play this, who know how to build their correct decks. And it's something that I want to learn more and more of, but I'm just kind of having fun, alright? I'm using all these cards that I'm about to show you to kind of build my own things, and just play matches with my buddies, with my girlfriend, and eventually go back to locals once again, and try my hand, and just have fun, and not be worried about getting my ass completely handed to me, because that is exactly what happened. By the time I left this event, I was feeling a little bit disenchanted. I was feeling like maybe this game is just so complicated at this point that if you haven't played for like the last 5 or 6 years, it might be something that is impossible to learn. But it's not really the case. And I just kind of decided that I'm gonna go back and I'm just gonna have fun, and I'm not gonna worry about making these ultra combo decks. And yes, everybody, so if you've been on this channel for a minute, you're probably wondering what the hell I'm talking about. If any of you have actually played this game, maybe talk to me down in the comments. Maybe tell me your master duel link or something, and I will be sure to maybe try to duel you or something. The only other kind of interesting interaction I had at this place is with my new bag and my like new deck holder and stuff. I got to the end of the first round, my opponent had to leave, leave. He left. And there was still about 20 minutes or so. And I put all my stuff on the table. I put my deck and stuff down on here. And there was this younger guy kind of sitting there. And I don't know if I was reading him wrong, but I just felt like I was doing something wrong to this man. I looked at him and I was just like, hey, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I would like to leave my stuff here. Do you think you could watch my stuff and just, make sure nobody takes it? I'm sure nobody will. Everybody here is super nice. And he just kind of gave me a very bland, like, yeah. He kind of gave me this dirty look, at least I thought so, and that was a little bit discouraging. And by the time I got to my second opponent, that same very kid walked up and he whispered very loudly in my opponent's ear, and I'm pretty sure he said, "Easy dub, destroy him, easy win." And I was like, whoa, alright, I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here, besides not entirely knowing how to play the game, but I came out with good spirits. Just trying to talk to some people and trying to find an outlet to nerd out about this new little addiction that I've had outside of reading comic books. And it's been something very fun, something I very much enjoy, and it's like the first card game that I've really gotten into. I started watching the anime. I started reading the manga, which I might actually do a few episodes on, because the manga compared to the anime or compared to the card game is completely different, alright? They're so entirely different. At this point, I've read like the first volume, I want to believe, at least the first 7 to 10 episodes of the manga itself, and it is absolutely wild, alright? Yugi does some very wild things. It's much less about a card game and more about mild bullies in a school being pitted against Yugi, who has come across the Millennium Puzzle, who uses these powers to create little games to these people's deaths, I would have to believe. There's one chapter where they're having a school fair, and well, Yugi and his band of friends, the people in his grade, get this specific tent in this really nice area of the school, and they're trying to raise a bunch of money, and essentially it is kind of like a circus game deal. Well, at one point in this, the senior class comes in, and every single year this is the spot that they usually get, and they kind of completely tear it down, alright? They're going to put a little grilling spot here. They're going to start cooking, and they don't want these kids here anymore. So, like I said, they destroy it. Yugi and everybody is absolutely devastated, and they realize that they need to find a way to get this thing back in action, to take their spot back for them, for their honor, for Christ's sake. And that is exactly what Yugi tends to do. The Millennium Puzzle goes off, alright? Yugi is changed into somebody who looks to be about 2 to 3 years older. I've never really understand the concept of the Millennium Puzzle, and that's probably my own deal for not quite researching it, but he becomes a very confident gentleman. And every single time this kind of thing happens, where a mild intervention kind of happens, Yugi changes, and he goes to these people, and he decides that he is going to give himself a little game. He tells them, "You have trespassed in our souls, and for this, you shall surely pay." And pay they do. In this specific little chapter, Yugi basically takes their grill and nobody's looking, he puts all these bricks around it, and then he begins to form an ice puck, something to kind of play ice hockey on this grill. The more the puck goes back and forth, the more it melts, and the person that has melted completely ends up losing. Well, this isn't a normal ice puck, and this ain't no normal game of air hockey. Essentially, Yu-Gi-Oh goes to like the biology lab or something, and he grabs this little vial and fills it with these chemicals that on contact with heat will actually explode, and he puts this in the top of the ice puck, and he basically tells the senior that, well, they're gonna play this little game of grill hockey, and whoever, I guess, gets the melted puck all the way to the ground is going to explode. And that is exactly what happens. The student is exploded over tearing down basically a tent, alright? It was a very dick move, but I'm pretty sure he might have died, and I don't think he really deserved that. Overall, it is just a very adult manga, alright? It's so completely different that if you are a fan of the Yu-Gi-Oh anime and stuff like that, I've been watching GX, I've been watching 5Ds, I've been watching Master Duel in my free time, and while I do enjoy them, they are very heavily about the card game. And I'm just wondering when these mangas are going to get to that point, because if they don't, I honestly have no idea how this entire card game has been spawned. But yes, everybody, there's so much I want to say, but mostly I just wanted to tell you about this little experience I had, about going to locals, about just meeting brand new people that I've never met before, and just kind of start talking to them. And I think it was a lot of fun, and it's something that I look forward to again. And I'm kind of hoping that maybe I can do a little series where I kind of go do something out in the world that's different, something I've never really experienced. I don't know what the next ones would be. Maybe you guys could kind of mention that down in the comments. I think that would be awesome. And for my viewers, the From the Heart viewers, the people that I appreciate so much, I just want to say, I think I got about 2.5 weeks more before I get back into the videos and things like that, but I really wanted to make this video, so if it doesn't come out till then, essentially it is like, right now it's June. I think it's June the 1st, alright, and I think I have 2 more weeks, so either this video will come out in a couple days or at the end of my break, but I just wanted to kind of document this and talk about it, so let me know what you think, alright, and thank you so much for watching. I know this is a little bit different for the channel, but I did something a little bit different, and I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about that kind of thing. And from here on, I'm just gonna show you this massive card collection that is probably not meta at all, probably not very good cards. I know some of them are good, alright? I have about a quarter to a full thing of almost every single archetype there is, I think. Not nearly, but a good portion of them, man. I couldn't believe this trade that I made for the PS2. It was definitely worth it. It's brought me a lot of joy just sitting, listening to podcasts, listening to books, and just kind of sorting things out into their rightful places. It's a really big mess, but just kind of bear with me. Okay, everybody, don't mind the mess. This was my 3D printer table. As you can see, it is definitely a mess. I just completed this little thing today, and the next thing I need to do is put these things in binders, in sleeves, and such like that. But yes, this is the PS2 tray that I made for 2 giant binders full of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, as well as a speed duel box, also completely filled to the absolute brim. And yeah, it's probably taken me about 6 hours to go through everything. This right here is an entirely pile of fake Yu-Gi-Oh cards, alright? We were playing with these for a while, me and my buddies, and eventually I realized these things look a little strange, alright? They have no trademarks, they have a different kind of paper, and that was kind of a whole ordeal. But yes, these are all separated by archetype, all sorts of different things. Right here we have a speed burst that's from 5Ds, we have rich crafters, we have the fabled creatures, we have just straight up beast warriors. This is a pile of dragon cards over there. This is all XYZ, synchros, fusions, all sorts of different shit. Alright, we have some chaos stuff, we have all my plant cards that kind of go to Predaplant. Just all sorts of things that have wasted a lot of time in my life. But I cannot tell you how much fun it has been organizing every single one of these, dreaming of the combinations that I could possibly make that I will probably never be able to fully understand. But it is fun going through here and trying to whip up a little deck to play with my buddies. Alright, this is just something that I've been enjoying. Don't blame me. These are all like elemental heroes, evil heroes, destiny heroes, all sorts of heroes, alright? I've been having a lot of fun with them. I got 2 Kashtira cards, 3 Tier Limit cards, alright? I'm working on a dogmatic system. I'm working on Shadal. I'm working on Alistair. I'm working on Despia, alright? I'm trying to be meta, alright? My dream is to go to one of these locals and to possibly do good. Maybe. But yeah, yep. So this has been exactly that. Sorting cards, listening to books, listening to podcasts, playing Yu-Gi-Oh with my friends, and reading more and more comic books on my time off. I've frankly been having a blast. And yeah, everybody, this has been me. I just wanted to kind of tell you about this little experience I had, and like I said, how much time I've wasted, I've thrown away in the trash, but goddamn have I been having a good time off, and I just kind of wanted to let you guys all know that. So thank you everyone for kind of giving me this time, for being so supportive and things like that. It's been wonderful. I've been hanging out with friends constantly. I've been having bonfires. I've been playing card games. I've been reading. I've been catching up on a bunch of really good horror movies. I highly recommend that you go watch Everybody is Going to the World Fair. It's based on a creepypasta. It was not really the best movie, but the ride of it was very fun. The only thing that I didn't really like was the ending. But all the music is by Alex G, and that's by far one of my most favorite singers, songwriters, musicians. I think he's got a really unique tone. Some other good stuff that I've been getting to. I've been reading the Silent Hill comic books, and those are also very wild, alright? They're very dark, but what else would you expect from Silent Hill? But yeah, everybody, I'm just gonna ramble from here on out. So everybody, have yourself a fantastic time. Like I said, I still got a couple weeks left of this time off. Right now it is June 1st or maybe May 39th. I have no idea, frankly, positively. But yeah, I don't know when this is gonna come out. I might just wait until I come back and stuff so I can have a couple things to post and whatnot before we're back to the old grindstone and such like that. But yes, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've never been to this channel and you are a Yu-Gi-Oh person. Tell me what I can be doing better. Give me an easy deck to build. All right, I've been working on a Red Eyes B, and I've been having fun with it, but I know that it will get absolutely smashed to anybody who has a true like tier deck or something like that. And everybody else from the heart, let me know what you've been up to this whole month. Have you been reading any good thing? Do you have anything that you could maybe recommend me? Maybe some movies or anything of the sort. And once again, I just want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you on the next episode of From the Heart. Goodbye.